Welcome to the Team Elevate team call. It is the 21st of August. So we are more than halfway through August. And, I don't want you guys to feel like it's over. I want you to feel like you have 10 full days. You have 10 full days to set your intentions each day and crush your intentions. And just, that's the beauty of this business. And I think, you guys have heard this story 1,000 times, but at the beginning of my business, I would, wait until the last 10 days to really hit a goal or work to hit a goal. And it was obviously the wrong way to work your business because I was having to rebuild trust with every single person every month. And so if you set intentions every single day, you're not going to have to say, oh my God, I didn't hit success with this month. It's about maybe, helping change, having your intention each day, having your goal each day to change one life every single day. And so when you go into your day saying, I'm going to change one life today, your conversations go smoother, your posts go smoother, because it's not just a matter of I have to get a success club point or I have to sign a coach today. It's I'm going to change a life every single day. And so just wake up and do the same things over and over again. Pour into your own journey and just spread that passion like wildfire. But we have the pleasure of having Sami Glonek, I hope I'm saying that right, on our call tonight. She was on the National Wake Up Call on Monday, so we get her twice this week, which I'm so excited about. Before I pass over the microphone to her, I'm going to actually I have a couple announcements, and I want to do our leaderboard so far for August. Can you guys see that? Yes? Cool. So far this month, we have a handful of people who with 1+ lives changed. We have an incredible amount of four points. So any of you new coaches on the call, when you see any multiples of 2, any 2 points is one life change, one like helping somebody with a challenge pack, helping somebody with a Shakeology order. And so in order to hit the benchmark of Success Club, you do have to change 3 lives. So these people over here are just inches away from hitting Success Club. Don't be comfortable falling short. Get out of your comfort zone, take these next 10 days, set your intentions and be them. The month is not over. Absolutely not. Just because we're more than halfway through does not mean that it's over. So far this month, we're already hitting Success Club with 6 points. We have Stephanie Pike, Megan Jones, Taylor Keola, Lindsay White, Chelsea Tabai, Devin Ravnak, Jen Dollinger, Meg Wortham. With 8 points, we have Michelle Cahill, Teresa Neitlinger, Lena Murphy, Jacqueline Sparacino, and Caitlin Walsh. With 10 points, we have Kelly Hernandez-Dempsey. With 16 points, Samantha Benko. With 18, we have Cassie Schmelzinger. With 22, myself. With 28, we have Sydney Thompson. With 36, we have Kate Morgan. And then with 40 Success Club points, so 20 lives changed, leading the pack, Michaela Vargelakis. And so we have locked in changing 201 lives changed so far this month just by Team Elevate. And so let's take these next 10 days and change 200+ more lives. And this week we have our coach of the week, which is Chelsea Tabai. You are absolutely incredible. We did a one-on-one call and she just spewed out all of her goals and she is crushing them one after another. And it is just so exciting to be able to see that and be on this journey with you. So you are our coach of the week. Scrolling down, we signed 36 coaches this week, which is very low for us. So make sure you guys are hosting your sneak peeks. Make sure you are consistently inviting your challengers to the coaching opportunity. Get out of your comfort zone. You are sitting in that chair on a team call for a reason. You feel some type of way about this business. Share that passion. On Wednesday, so tomorrow night at 8 p.m., I'm hosting a ranking mentorship call. I did that 2 weeks ago. We are going to start running these bi-weekly. I'm just going to basically be going over the importance of rank and what comes within each one. I don't want you guys to get so obsessed over Emerald and Ruby and Diamond. I want you to really focus on what new doors are open when you hit the rank of Emerald. What new doors are open when you hit the rank of Diamond, and then what's beyond that. And so tomorrow night at 8 p.m., we are going to be talking all about a ranking mentorship. Okay, 2 more things I want to chat about. Guys, Super Saturday is approaching us quickly. You all need to be signed up for a Super Saturday. For those of you who are like, what the hell is a Super Saturday? They're basically mini local summits. So we have them local all over the United States and Canada, so in the UK now. So if you search local Super Saturdays Beachbody to me, if you're in like Texas or if you're in New York or if you're in, wherever you are, you have one local to you, and team up, get some friends, go to the event for a couple hours. I will be flying out into Albany and speaking in Albany. I know Kate is going to be speaking in Utah. So get somewhere, go and listen to some top coaches talk, go work out live with people, just get to network and feel the passion of being in the room with so many other like-minded people. So make sure you guys are signed up for somebody or for an event October 20th. All right, last thing I want to talk about before I hand it over to Sami. We have 72 days until our Team Elevate Diamond Retreat. 72 days. Do not wait until there's 60 days left to feel like pushing for Diamond, guys. The house is totally full. The house is 100% full right now. I think we have 22 girls going to our Team Elevate Diamond Retreat, but maybe we'll add in some air mattresses. If you hit Diamond, maybe we'll have to get another house, but you're going to be there. You're going to be in Orlando with us, but you guys can't wait. You can't wait until there's, 20 days left to hit Diamond. You have to start. You have to print out your tracker, get it ready, pair up with somebody else pushing for it. Tell your upline what your goals are, and then just do it every single day. Sign those coaches, sign those challengers. Diamond is the stepping stone to so much more, but you're getting an all expense paid trip to Disney World. All you have to do is get your booty there. We have this giant mansion. We're going to Disney, and I have the biggest surprise for you. I just finalized the surprise today, and I'm not telling a single person until we get there. So you guys should be so super duper excited, and you're going to get spoiled for those 4 days. Okay, so we have Sami Glonek on tonight. Sami is absolutely incredible. Her Instagram name is Short Girl Fitness, and I think I said that right, Short Girl Fitness. If you don't follow her, she's a 6-star diamond in her first business center, a 2-star diamond in her second business center, and a diamond coach in her third business center, which really just means she's changing a ton of lives, and she's teaching her coaches and her leaders to change a ton of lives as well. She is an organizational leader on the leadership ladder. She is an elite 2018 coach, which means she is in the tippy top of the highest ranking coaches in the network. Last year, she has had 38 months in Success Club, and she is in the top 20 in the entire network of over 450,000 other teams. And she's a dog mom, and she has the cutest little Dalmatian, which you don't ever see often. So I think it's so unique. But Sami, she's going to be talking about social media tonight, which is going to be absolutely incredible. So Sami, when you are ready.
Can you guys hear me okay? Thumbs up, thumbs up. I should make sure. Okay, so just a little bit about that. I don't want you guys to get so blindsided by stats, because I think it's really easy to hear these things and you're like, wow, this girl's coming to talk to us and she's crushing it. But I've also been doing this business for 3 years. And I have a little presentation for you guys because most of my girls are pretty visual. So hopefully you guys are too. But side note, didn't know you were going to Disney. That's where my leadership retreat is. So freaking excited. I'm going to be stalking your guys' social media. Disney is freaking amazing. But with Instagram, with Facebook, I built a successful following because I have never once in 4 years, even though I've been working the business for 3, never once missed a day on Instagram. Never once. We had a death in the family, still posted on Instagram. I was out of the country without Wi-Fi. I paid my best friend to post for me. There were things, I had terrible anxiety. I went through a bout of depression. I still showed up. And so I think I want to start that by saying that. So when you see a great following, whether it's 5,000, 10,000, 100,000, you don't see all of the days that they didn't want to show up. You don't see all the struggles that made them get to where they are. And so, this bright and shiny following looks great and all, but there's going to be a lot of sacrifices you have to make. And so, if you didn't hear my National Makeup Call, the summarized version of where I got to be with building Instagram was, it took me a year to work the business. My sister, Jamie, she's a coach. And so I sent everybody to her, my friends, my family, my best friends are diamond coaches underneath her. Okay. Like, I didn't have a warm market. So when I have coaches come into me and say, oh, none of my friends and family want to join on, I'm like, great, that's totally fine, because you're going to run out of them anyway. You might as well dive into your social media. And I'm assuming you guys have tons of trainings about this, but hopefully I will at least tell you one thing differently to kind of spark your interest as to re-sparking your Instagram and Facebook. Now, most of my presentation is on Instagram. because that is where 99% of my clientele comes. Now, with that, you can use this on Facebook as well, but like pictures that I'm going to be showing you are things from Instagram. So hopefully I can easily share my screen here. And go into present. Now, I can't see you, but hopefully you can see this thing. So my goal for you guys is to create a brand for you through your social media. And so when you're going on to Instagram and you see all of these like crazy things of this coach is telling you this, and this coach is telling you this, and this is what hashtags you should be using, and these are the hashtags you should not be using. I want you to just like throw all of that stuff out of the window and just not start over, but just start fresh tonight. You obviously just want to be getting into a consistency, and that's going to give you a growth. Now, I'm not saying consistency where all you do is just show up every day and magically you create 1,000, 2,000, 100,000 following. What I'm saying is that you're consistently trying to grow, which is going to give you growth. And so when I'm seeing a following of what I have watched dozens of Instagram trainings. I've watched things from top coaches. I have asked people. I have done so many things to try to figure out what algorithm and what hidden gimmicks, what social media hacks people have. And it doesn't matter if you have 0 followers or you have 100,000 followers. One of my favorite things Danielle Natoni ever said was she had 105,000 followers at the time. It was like the 13th of the month, and she was at SC0. So it doesn't matter your following. Like, don't think that I'm successful because of my following. Yes, of course it helps, but everybody's got to start somewhere. I started at 0 because I didn't want anyone to know I was on a health and fitness journey. I actually created a new one. I told Jamie, don't tell anybody about this thing. So as a big sister, she posted on Facebook. But a little bit about like the first thing that you see. I want you to think of this as like your Tinder profile. This is what people are going to swipe right or they're going to not follow you. So you need a short bio. I think that's the first and foremost thing. People have an attention span of a goldfish. So if they come to your Instagram and it's like this long of a bio and I have to scroll to see one photo of you, it's too long. It's too much, especially if you have a bunch of highlights and you have like 8 things of highlights. To them, that's just, for me, I'm skeptical. I am stubborn. I don't have the time to just sit and scroll for people. And so short bio as to what they're going to get from your profile. Mine is 3 lines long. It doesn't need to be 3. It could be 4 or 5, whatever, but nothing super, super long. One of the best things I learned from one of my trainings was that people go to your Instagram for them. And it's the same thing about going to a wedding. So some people will, like, I'm sure everyone in this group has been to a wedding. And when you go to a wedding, I haven't been married, but when I go to a wedding, all I'm thinking about is, well, I want to do that. Okay, I don't like that. Okay, that person did this. This is what I'm going to put on my Pinterest board. That's what people do. And if you've already been married, you're probably going to a person's wedding saying like, oh, I really liked those better on theirs. Oh my gosh, I really liked what we did better on that. It's for them. So what's to say there's any difference of them coming to your Instagram? And I think that's like the number one thing Beachbody coaches forget is that they're sharing all of their life and they're sharing all these things, which is great and all. But if you're not being relatable and you're not being somebody that people are going to just like gravitate towards, you're missing the big picture of what social media is. It's social for a reason. So you need to be introducing yourselves, but you need to kind of bring in like what's for them. So for mine, you can see that I am a student, or I was a student, and I'm a coach. I have hopefully a little bit of humor because my dog and I share the same birthday, so it lets them know I'm a fur mom. And then for them, my next boot camp is right here. So it's a little bit of everything. Another thing, I think it was Angie Valmari. See where I'm getting all these things? I'm picking up from all these different coaches because I did a ton of research on what works and what doesn't. But Angie said you should always be following less than what you're following, and it should be not the exact same number because it makes you look more credible. If you're following 1,000 and you only have 100 followers, that doesn't look credible to somebody who's coming to your page. And so obviously at the end of this whole presentation, my goal is to have people sign up for you, your brand, fall in love with your lifestyle, and not Beachbody. First things first, guys, I put this as number 1 because I think this is the biggest blockade people don't do when they go on social media because it's the hardest thing to do. So this is how you're going to build a cold market. And it's, if people don't know you, they aren't going to believe you. They aren't going to trust you until you tell them. And you, first and foremost, like, underline this, you have to be vulnerable. Because if people feel like you are a shell and you are somebody they can't let them in, they want to coach that will. And remember, Tinder profile. If you're going on a date with somebody and you go to the third date and they haven't told you anything about their personal life, you're done. Nobody's going to want to continue that relationship. And so if you are going into somebody's profile and all it is about fitness and their job and their life, and there's nothing more than that. There's nothing feeling like I'm connecting to this person because she struggles with anxiety, or I'm not connecting to this person because she's a mom and all of a sudden she has a really crazy busy schedule and she's breaking down because of it. People need that vulnerability to feel like you're a human. And if people are not seeing that, they're never going to, if they do sign up with you, it's for Beachbody. They're not signing up for you because they don't feel like you're that human for them. And I think this is an easy concept to skip over because we tell our coaches to do it all the time, but it's hard for us to do that. And every human, it's going to be really hard for us. Like, nobody wants to go out there and be like, here's my whole life. Here's all the things that went wrong. But on the right, I was struggling with anxiety that day. And being someone who does struggle with anxiety, I have 3 different forms of it, but diagnosed since I was 12. At first, when I first started posting about it, it was really hard. And it was something that I didn't really want to put into my brand because what it did was starting to attract people with anxiety. And then I felt like I was babysitting them, and it was just a downward spiral. So what I learned through my vulnerable self of this whole social media journey is that I need to share the big low points, but tell how I overcame that. Because now I related to people about one of the hardest parts of my life, but it also gave them tips and hope that they're going to get through it as well. Same thing with Alex on my left. This is my top coach. This post blew up. You see 12,000 likes. Obviously, that's something out of the ordinary. And she is the opposite of me. Like, she is 5'10". I'm 5'2". She's 185 pounds. I'm 115 pounds. Like, we're total opposites. And we used that to our advantage. We made posts about it. We showed people that it didn't matter. And so it's just like, first and foremost, you got to be vulnerable in your own way. So here's a little exercise that I always have my coaches do to try to figure out what your brand is, because I think the whole pick 3 to 5 things about you is really shallow. I'm going to just be blunt with you guys. I'm tough love. I think it's so surface and it doesn't dive into who you are as a person, because you are not a nurse. You are a nurse because you like to take care of people because of a certain probably example of something that happened in your life. You didn't become a mom because you wanted to be a mom. You wanted to become a mom because you wanted something that would look up to you and you could create as a prodigy, or you could, create a legacy. That's who you are. And I noticed this because when I was in school and I was getting my master's, I felt like saying I'm a student didn't embody my story at all. Like, it just felt like I'm way more than a student. I've been in college for 7 years. I care about science. I, tried to go to dental school for 3 years. And so who are you? And so what I want you to do sometime, maybe tonight or this week sometime, is to take a blank sheet of paper, just, out of your printer or whatever, and try to fill it as much as you possibly can with any verb, noun, adjective, anything that pertains to you in your life. Are you stubborn? Are you feisty? Are you excited? Are you faithful? Are you, any type of adjective? And when that gets brought out and you put everything on the paper, go to your significant other, go to your best friend, go to your mom, and have them add 10 things. When you think of me, what am I? And you're going to come up with all of these different things that, one, you can group together. I'm stubborn and feisty. Here's a story. I'm a nurse. I'm caring. Here's a story. And you're going to fill the page with who you are. That's going to create a brand for you. Another thing I like to do with my coaches is a big, big part that people forget, and this kind of ties into vulnerability, is your emotion. And so I want you to categorize the next sheet of paper of, if you're putting comments, I can't see them, so just bear with me. Anger, happiness, sadness, anything besides just being normal. And this is going to create a lot of engagement on your post, because there's 2 instances that I realized this was a lacking thing in my social media. So number 1, first and foremost, is when I came to California, I found out that there is a law that you can just walk across the street and you have to stop for all these pedestrians. I came from Michigan. I had no idea that was a thing. That wasn't the problem. The problem was that whenever people would walk across the street, they wouldn't wave. And I would get so angry because people who don't say please, people who don't say thank you, I want to yell at them and ask them if they grew up in a barn, because who does that to the human being? I hate when I hold the door for somebody and they just walk on through. I'm like, you're welcome, because that's who I am. I'm sassy. And so that story I shared on social media and it blew up. My inbox was full of people either saying I was funny and they thought it was hilarious how worked up I was, or people that were like, yeah, me too. I hate when people do that. And so I brought my emotion to it. Story number 2. Now, if you guys don't know who I am, a lot of my brand is Harry Potter. I grew up loving Harry Potter. I'm a huge reader, even outside of personal development. I love getting, I go into the book like I'm actually living the book. I'll have dreams about it. I think about it. I just fall in love with whatever I'm reading. Well, same thing with movies and shows. And so what I was doing a few months ago is I was watching the show Glee. And Glee is something I watched in college, but I stopped right before, because the main guy actor he dies in real life to a drug overdose, and he was about our age. And so I stopped watching it in college, and a couple months ago I started rewatching it, and I knew this episode was happening. And I was starting to get a little emotional, and then the episode came and I was just waterworks, and I went for a walk afterwards and I was just, beside myself, bawling. Not that I was super bawling on camera, but I told them, my eyes were all puffy, and I was just like, I just think it's so sad that someone's life was taken and blah, blah, blah. My inbox blew up because I let them in. I let them see the side of me that I cared so much about what was going on. And so what I started to do was compartmentalize all of the different emotions I was having throughout the day. You could create a brand on hanger. Hangriness is a real thing, okay? So that can be a really funny part of your brand. Also, people relate to that. There's just so many things in your day, even if it's something small. Something that made me happy is I love buying myself flowers. When I want flowers, I'll go out to the little florist and I will have a conversation with her. I've made posts about how amazing it is that she did this and this was about her day. And those posts blow up because they felt like they were a part of my day. They felt like I let them in and they were my friend. And the last thing on this slide is just what makes you feel compelled to comment on? I think a lot of people get wrapped up in this is my lunch, what's on your plate? And it's if you saw that on an Instagram feed, would you stop to comment? Because I'm not talking about this, well, today I had a turkey sandwich, and you know what I mean? That's not going to make me feel like I needed to comment. But on the other hand, if somebody says, I woke up today with a really bad headache, I'm having really bad migraines, what have you guys done in the past that worked? Me, being a dental assistant in the past, I feel compelled that I want to comment on that and say, well, I actually used to have migraines where I would throw up, and now I have a bite guard, and that is something that has really helped me. You may want to talk to your dentist. Maybe you're grinding your teeth or clenching your teeth at night. So because I feel compelled to comment on that, I should be incorporating that into my brand, because then your people are going to be commenting on it. If you're just going out there and asking people what their lunch is, no one's going to comment. And you're going to be upset that your brand isn't blowing up. But if you feel like you're giving a personal testimony, this is important to you, something small, like my dog, when we came out here in California, his eyes got really red. And I was kind of concerned. I could have Googled it, but what I did, I just posted on Instagram a little blurb about how he was feeling, and it blew up because people felt compelled to tell me to have him take Benadryl, go to the vet, go do all these different things, because that made them want to feel like they wanted to be social. Instagram should be your diary. You need to be showing transformations. And this was hard for me because being an insanity girl, I actually would do Insanity Max 30 every day of my life if I could. And what I soon realized was my body wasn't really changing anymore. And I kind of plateaued. And so I had to try different workout programs. And sometimes you see a difference and sometimes you don't. But you need to be sharing all of the things throughout your journey. And something Emily Faber once said was, if you're not showing a transformation every 12 photos or every screenshot of your Instagram, you need to be, because that's how she blew up. That's how people see progress. Remember, goldfish attention span. So I noticed it today. I haven't posted a transformation photo in 8 days. And that's a long time for me. And so it could be a face transformation, a mental transformation, an arm transformation, a leg transformation. And if you're brand new, start collecting photos. Start collecting photos of your old self, your current self, your future self, and all of these things are going to be helpful. When I take before photos, sometimes I'll flip on a different bra. Sometimes I'll grab a different shirt, like all of these things, because if you're not like when I started Lift 4, I was having really bad IBS flare-up. I felt like shit. I came home from a bachelorette party. I did not feel good, and I took like 3 different before photo sets because those are things I'm going to be using for my journey and talking about the pros and the cons. So your cold market needs to be shown, especially if you watch the National Wake Up Call. These are skeptical people. If you're showing the same transformation photo every week, no one is going to try to join you because they think that one size fits all. So stop waiting for the perfect engagement time. This was something I used to do. I used to post my transformation at 7 p.m. every Sunday. And with the algorithm, I'm assuming you figured this out. It doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Your insights might tell you that 7 p.m. is the best time. But what if your dream prospect shows up at 6? Now she didn't see your photo. So you should be consistently trying to change that up. And same with coaching previews, coaching announcements. This should just be at random times. If you're looking at the time and living by it, it's not going to work because people on the West Coast are on a completely different schedule than the East Coast and then beyond the East Coast. You just need to be the right time. And so the more you're going to show up, the more you share your journey, the ups, the downs, the struggles, the highs, the lows, the more people are going to trust you, and the better your Instagram algorithm is going to be in your favor. Obviously, Instagram stories are key. I would say this is probably the most important part of your brand. Obviously, vulnerability to grow your Instagram is in general, but if you're not talking to your Instagram, your people haven't really connected fully with you. I'm surprised I was able to build an Instagram without it, to be honest with you, because sometimes you have a perfect idea of who this person is, and then you see them on Instagram and they're either way better or way worse. Same thing with going back to Tinder, guys. You might find the perfect match and they're not. Or maybe you're kind of like, well, they're okay. And then you meet them and then the coolest freaking person ever. So you need to be using this as your daily journal because, you know, we're not going to want to post 10 times a day. We're just not. We don't have enough content. We don't have enough cool stuff. None of our lives are really that exciting. And the stories are going to kill that for you. And so, you know, if you don't know and you're just kind of like, well, what do I post all day? My life is really boring, or I'm at work all day. Just post 5 different things. Do a boomerang, a story, a hands-free option, a picture, and a filter. You know what I mean? Like switch it up so that you're not just talking to your camera. But I don't know why people have such a problem with stories when they never had a problem with Snapchat. Like, be weird, be funny, be serious, be holistic, be healthy, be unhealthy. One of the best compliments I was ever given from one of my coaches is, she's like, you sound the exact same on Instagram stories as you do in real life. Because I swear, I say dude, I'm like, what up? You know what I mean? That's just me. I am never going to change that. And when I first started my Instagram, I wanted to put this front on. And I wanted to be Danielle Natoni. And I wanted to be Raina Odell. And I wanted to be all these people that I really looked up to. But because of that, I didn't really find me. And I brought in a lot of people that loved fitness. But those people weren't my people. That was what we related on. We related on fitness. Most of them left because there was nothing keeping them here. And so this is a great place to talk about vulnerability and ask yourself, go to your top 5 favorite story people to watch. Like, why are they your favorite people? Obviously, your coach is probably one of them because you're just best friends, but what about her stories makes you keep coming back. I know there are certain people I follow, and the minute I see that little red bubble, I go to their stories, and I'm starting to realize what about those stories makes me want to keep coming back. And so this is a great place to do a coaching preview, a challenge group sneak peek. Today I just did a picture in the mirror of how I look with Lift 4, and I just said 4 days a week, next story, with a cheat day, because I want my people to understand that's a pivotal part of what people are going to join this whole journey for. Instead it is. The next one was, I don't even know, a portion controlled eating plan or something like that. And then just like a couple things. And then at the fifth one was just, are you ready to stop watching and join me, with an arrow? Because I'm just like, all right, I'm going to be blunt with you. This is obviously working for me. And if you want to join and you want to jump on the bandwagon, great. And if you don't, peace, I'm running without you. And I say that because that's my personality. I'm very black or white, like, sweet, we're going to do this. No, we're not. All right, cool. I'll see you next month. And I'll try to change people's lives before I see you again. You know what I mean? So that is my preview to my life, preview to my coaching, preview to the business, preview into all of the things that are going to make them join me. Poll option, key, super easy, but also a great conversation starter. If you feel like all you're doing is just like pulling teeth to talk to people, start using polls. You know, something simple. I want to get my hair done. Should I go darker or lighter? And then they say lighter. Comment and be like, oh my gosh, thanks for commenting on my poll. I'm so torn. I saw in your story, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, it's such an easy conversation starter. And if they're responding to your poll, they're obviously watching you. So you might as well just talk to them anyway. All right, so what do we do with all this information? How do you find more people? How do you brand yourself even further? So tagging brands has been a huge benefit into building a business for me. It's something that I think is very underutilized. If you guys know who Amy Rada is, I'm sure you do. She built the initial like 10,000 followers that she has on simply tagging like Beachbody stuff. And I know they're not your target people, but say you get 100 coaches to follow you. Well, that looks more credible than 0 followers. So there is something to be said. And plus, my brother-in-law said it to me once. He's like, coaches are the best followers because they're the ones engaging in all your stuff. So true, right? Because we're so used to living on our phones. So don't be afraid to tag Lift 4 in the background. Don't be afraid to tag Zevia. Don't be afraid to tag, this is like a little boutique that we had. It's a little, I love this thing. It's like a paper cupcake. Don't be afraid to tag Bath and Body Works. Tag these companies because either A, they could repost your stuff. B, the people who are going to their Instagram might look at their photos. Boom, now they just found you. This is how I started my initial following. I tagged all Nike everything. And I also talked to Nike. I also got Nike followers. And that's how a lot of people follow me. Another thing that I like to do outside of like the norm of branding on social media, bringing in your people, is so many people say search through hashtags. And to me, when I was building an Instagram, I was the skeptical person. So when I looked at Instagram, I was like, well, I don't know if I really agree with that. Not that I disagree with it, but I wanted to go on a different route because what I realized was my original Instagram, even though I could have easily been a coach, I had no idea about hashtags. So like my photo would have been like, here's a picture of a sunset, hashtag blessed. Like I'm not doing hashtag fitness inspiration, hashtag dog mom. That is not me at all. So what I started to do was searching brands and then looking at who was engaging on those posts. So people that tag them in photos, people that tag them in comments, people who liked them. And those are the people I reached out to because those were the things I already knew I had in common. So at the time it was Nike Women and that was my go-to Instagram. So maybe for you it's Target. Maybe it's, I don't know how to say this, Lily Pulitzer. Is that wrong? Maybe it's Zevia. I don't know. Whatever, like look around your house. What do you feel like Lululemon? Like, duh, if you're a yogi, you should be searching yogi brands. And so this is something that I started to do to really find my people. And even if you do the 5-3-1, so you like 5 photos, comment on 3, message 1, you're going to gain a stronger following because these are the people that relate to you if you already are posting about things they love. I already went over the engaging thing. Think shorter. So sometimes when I go to coaches' profiles and I go to their link in their bio, then they go through another form, and then I have to like fill out the form, and I do these things, and that's fine and all, but you also have to understand that you need another way to contact you, because people like me aren't going to go through a form. I won't. I have an attention span of a goldfish, and if I start filling out a form, I'm like, oh my gosh, wait, do you see that outside? And then I like click out of my phone and it's gone. Like, that's just my personality. So give two options when you're doing, because if you have a type form, that's great for those people that are a little bit more private. But if you are trying to attract both types of people, maybe you just need fill out my form or comment emoji, or maybe comment below I'm interested, or, you know, like a very short way to get to your attention. You need both. So that's just like a side pull. And then comment squads. This is something that my coaches did for a while, and you know, it does work to an extent. And so we would team up for 5 to 6 people, nothing crazy because it is time consuming. And we would go comment 4+ words on each other's posts whenever we posted. So we get in a little group. And so we'll say Julia posts about her transformation. She'll comment on the thing or post it. We'd all go to Julia's thing, blow it up in the first 5 minutes, and then I'll let her know when I've posted. So comment squads are really good to kind of just like boost your engagement. And even though you're just like transferring some followers back and forth, your goal is that you get in that explored feed. So last minute tips. I feel like every coach has always said this, but you need to be acting like that coach you want to be. So if you are looking at, we'll say Melanie Mitro for inspiration, what separates you from Melanie Mitro? Don't look at rank. Don't look at recruiting numbers. Like, what about her brand separates you two? And it's not that you need to copy that, but maybe she is posting 4 times a day and you're only posting 1. Maybe she is sharing more about her marriage and you never have. So it's like, look at those things and look at those trends and start trying to implement what these successful people are doing. And that's really how I started kind of realizing what I wasn't doing. And that was kind of humbling, but I think headshots are always important to brand yourself because it makes you look professional, whether you need them for things or not. I think your profile picture in both platforms needs to be some type of headshot. And I'm not saying you need to go out there and spend $200 to get them done. Find a friend with a camera, an iPhone 8, an iPhone 10, go wear a colored shirt or, you know, black shirt or whatever, go against a brick wall, go against a white wall, go do something so that you look presentable, so that when people come to your page, they think you're Melanie Mitro. Do you see what I'm saying? Ask yourself, would you follow you? I think this is a very important question, and I think this happens and changes through brands all the time. There are times when I say yes, and there are times when I say no. If you're not inspired by yourself, your followers, your people, your go-to friends aren't going to be inspired either. And, you know, they always say that about challenge groups, but I think that's an important reminder with Instagram. If you're just posting to post, you're missing a very key portion of this. And hopefully some of these tips will start to kind of fill in those gaps. But take out Beachbody. Take out every team call. Take out all the pre-workout. Take out the workouts. Take out all the stuff pertaining to that part of your life. And what is left? You know, in these photos, you see I'm in a relationship. Other than that, say I am a dog mom. Say I have my parents. I'm really close with them. And if you're reading that post, they were, you know, visiting me. I am an adventurer, and then the rest is Beachbody. But there are things outside of me drinking pre-workout and getting my workouts in. So make sure you're filling the gaps, and that goes into my call yesterday of jab, 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 right hook. Don't just right hook them over and over and over. As always, stop comparing. Your day one is completely different than someone else's 1,000. Stop worrying about follower counts. Stop worrying about this person has 1,000 followers and they signed up after me and this person is this, because what you're doing when you're looking at that stuff is wasting time, and you could be talking to more people and getting beyond where you need to be. Because if somebody rank advances before you or they gain more followers, maybe their family was on board and yours wasn't. Maybe that post boosted in the news feed because of the time they posted it. I mean, there are so many factors that it's like we're wasting time worrying about other people when we need to be just focusing on our own social media. As always, your story is never boring. I think I've heard that from thousands of my coaches, saying that they go to work, they come home and they eat dinner and they go to bed and then they do it all over again, and they're not a full-time coach. So how could they be so successful at this? And my response to them is, that's way more relatable than my life as a full-time coach. So you should share more about that. You should share that you're waking up before work to get a workout in. You should share that you had a really stressful day at work. You should share that it's Sunday night and you have the Monday blues, because that is what people are going to gravitate towards. And it's not that you need to bring that negativity of, oh, I have to go to work, blah, blah, blah. But like, talk about how you're getting through work. Talk about how coaching makes you not stressed as much about the workload, or that you're excited to come home from work to work on coaching. Talk about what you do like about your job, what you want to grow with your coaching business. Like, all of these different things can be brought in, but that's what people are going to like about you, because that's more relatable rather than just having this full-time job at Beachbody. Like, I would say that's really a downfall of going full-time, and something that I've really gotten kind of a blockade against, because a lot of people are coming to me saying, I think it's awesome, your life is awesome, but I can't relate to that. And that's a wake-up call. Obviously there's a huge plus to being full-time, and I love being full-time Beachbody, but it isn't as relatable. When you are unsure of what to post and you're like, Sami, okay, great, now what? I have all these photos, I don't know what to do with them. My favorite little blurb to kind of fill in the gaps of my Instagram of not knowing when to post and how to stay consistent is saying 5 things about me. And when you say 5 things about you, remember, people are thinking about themselves. So if I went in there and I said, one of the facts about me is that I have a dimple on my right cheek, how many people are going to be commenting, me too? Probably 1, maybe. I don't know if I've ever even really met somebody with a dimple on their right cheek. So instead of saying something like that in my 5 facts, like if you go through my Instagram and find these posts, at least 4 of the things are something people can relate to. So one of the ones that blew up the most was that I love ketchup. I will put ketchup on anything. I freaking love ketchup. It's been like the hardest thing for me in Lift 4. But either people think that's disgusting or they agree. And they blew up that post saying like, oh my gosh, I love ketchup, blah, blah, blah. Another thing is I'm dairy free. So I will talk about how I love ranch and how I miss ranch. Well, I would know what I would eat if I wanted a ranch, and I know the dairy free brands that I like, but that makes people want to give me their opinion on a dairy free ranch. Or maybe they're just dairy free in general. So putting in 5 things about you and relating to your followers is a perfect little, I don't even know, blurb in the middle of all of that. My adjectives tonight are below average. And then the last thing is something I've been doing a lot is checking the explore feed for what's trending. And so I'm not going to sing for you guys because I have like the world's worst voice, but the Drake song that's going all over with the whole dance moves and stuff, that's trending. So you should be using that to your advantage. And I'm not saying that specific video redoing, but for example, in the lower right, you can't see it. There's a what the fluff challenge. And what it is you like hold up your blanket and you drop it and your dog does something and you video it. I didn't really do that for my own benefit. I did that because I saw it trending on Instagram and that post reached thousands of people. So there's a reason things are trending. And I know Carly Lindor is a coach on my upline. And she did the Drake video and it reached, I think, 25,000 views, which means it probably reached even more people. And I thought in my head, smart, because it's not really her brand, but it's trending. So there's something to be said about that. And I think that that place is something we should live in. And if your explore feed is all Beachbody coaches, go to a friend's who's not. Go to your boyfriend, go to your girlfriend, go to somebody who has an explore feed that's not all Beachbody and look at what's blowing up, because I think there's something to be said about it. Questions, comments, concerns, topics?
Wow. Content. Amazing. Can you hear me? Yes? Okay. So I love like how you just kind of wrapped it all up in the first like 3 minutes of it. And I could have probably taken away so much, based on the first 3 minutes, but I think it's safe to say that everybody probably took a ton of notes. But let's pass it over to some questions. I'm going to have to rewatch all these to get golden nuggets. Yes. Okay, if you guys have any questions, pop it in the chat. I just want to tell you how I love your Tinder analogy. I think it is so true because I never really thought about it like that, but it's true. Like, do you think somebody is going to want to, what is it, right? You swipe right. Somebody's going to want to swipe right for you. And that's exactly what it's like, especially when we are following people and they're following us back. They are coming to our profiles and they are basically seeing if they want to be in a relationship with us, truthfully, at the end of the day. And then I love your marriage concept, especially because I'm wedding planning right now. Like every wedding that I've gone to in the last couple of years, I've been like me and Tyler are like, thank God we go to these weddings because we see what we like and what we don't like. And now our wedding can be perfect. And like, that's perfect. It's a perfect example. Okay. Haley asked, how often should you reintroduce yourself?
I do it probably I would say once a month, but you can do it whenever you feel like there's a lull or maybe you get a surplus of followers, but just, you don't have to plan it. You don't have to be like, on the first of every month, I will be reintroducing yourselves because that's going to drive you mad. I've noticed in the past that whenever I gave myself a structure of what I should be posting, then I felt forced and it didn't really feel like genuinely me. And so I would just say, when you feel like, oh my gosh, I haven't reintroduced myself in a while, go do it.
And is that just on a post?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the beauty with Instagram stories is that your followers are already getting to really know you on your on Instagram stories, but having that introduction on your post for the new followers is really important. Okay. How would you recommend posting scenery that doesn't have your face in it, like places you go? Would you recommend that?
So what I was told, or what I learned and what I try to really implement, is that people are following your Instagram for you. And so you should be in at least 9 out of 12 photos. If you're posting your PD, it'd be better for you to take a picture of you reading your PD because people want to feel like they're in the room with you. And it's not to say you can't post a picture of your PD, but if you have a bunch of photos of not you, I don't know. To me, I would rather see someone reading their PD than a picture of it. Same thing with these team calls. I see so many coaches, and I'm not calling anybody out because I don't know your Instagrams, but I see so many people take a picture of all the faces. But the photos I love to see are the photos of someone smiling at their computer, or someone set up a tripod. You don't need a significant other, and take a picture of you on your computer or holding your computer, or just something that makes them feel like they're in the room with you, feeling like they're on the team call with you. And if it's just an Insta story, that's one thing, but it pops in the newsfeed when people see your face.
Yeah. I love it. Okay. Any last minute questions? You are amazing. Vulnerability. We talked all about showing, or I like how you said that, the last 3 years you have shown up every single day, and that builds trust. That builds trust. The Starbucks is my life. I know it's going to be open every single day. That's why I love it. I trust it. People need to trust us. We need to show up even on the shitty days, right? And then, and I also love how you did, I love how in your Instagram profile you have sign up for my next boot camp and you have your email there, because I feel like, especially in the last couple of weeks for myself personally, I would always give them one option, go fill out my form or drop your email. And then I don't know who I heard it from. I might have heard it from you or Jamie. Give them another option. Do the email, do the form for that type of person, but then do a poll for somebody who's more likely to click, or do an emoji for somebody who's more likely to drop an emoji, because you are going to attract all different types of people. So I think that was really something important that I took from it. Okay, one more question. Do you use self-timer on your phone for your pictures?
Side note about the 3 years thing. I think it's safe to say that a lot of my new people are people that have been following me for 6+ months. So the consistency factor really is paying off now, because one of my newest coaches, who's almost diamond, and she'll probably be my next diamond, she actually has been following me for 2 years, bought the 80-day obsession, has probably the best transformation out of anyone I know, didn't buy it from me, didn't buy a challenge pack, she bought it on Beachbody On Demand, then joined my coaching preview. So it's, it definitely pays off long run. But photo editing, Pick, Tap, Go, that's my jam. That's pretty much all I use besides Facetune. Both things I buy, but I've used them for 4 years. And then self-timer, yes. So I have an Apple Watch. So I always use this for portrait mode. Set my photo up or my phone up on like a $25 tripod, do the 3-second timer and call it good.
It was just, you said Face Tap Go, Facetune, and Pick Tap Go.
Yes, Pick, Tap, Go. And then Facetune.
Cool. All right, Sami, you are awesome. Literally, like, I think that was actually a call that we all needed, including myself. And you have an incredible transformation. You have an incredible, just like, I've been in this business as long as you, so it's really cool to see, you know, where you've come in the same amount of time that I've been in this business. And then also your Instagram is absolutely beautiful. So you should be so proud of yourself, and we are so lucky to have you. So thank you so much, and thank you everybody for, wait. We have to take a picture really quick. Ready, really quick. First page, smile. I almost forgot. Okay, last page. All right, guys, keep an eye out for this photo. It's going to be posted in our Team Elevate Team page, and I want to hear your top takeaway. But thank you, Sami, so much, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.